Hello, YouTube subscribers, Facebook friends. Welcome to another video. Today I'm going to talk about QoS. And if you ever have been kind of fiddling around with a router and you've seen that little tab on there that says QoS and you're wondering what that does, I'm going to explain to you what benefit that has for you. Now, I'm going to be talking over some people's heads today. So just be aware that you have to have some networking knowledge on your router. So if you like these videos, please subscribe to the YouTube channel and tell other people. And there's more information on Facebook and under Pushing Technology to the Limit, under that little link there under your screen. And just, add yourself to the forum. I was talking to one of my friends yesterday about her router. And I guess she understood. I hope she understood. She'll probably see this video. And, I was talking to her about quality of service. And that's what QoS stands for, is quality of service. And so, as easily as I can explain it, is, well, I don't know what you folks' speed is out there. I mean, I don't know how many of you still have 1.5 megabytes. I mean, that's DSL, yes, but a lot of the speeds now that we're getting, at least for DSL, the most that we can get on DSL is 7.1. Now, like if you watch my other videos, I have told you that I've got 3 DSL connections. So I've got 7.1 on all 3. Well, I'm not going to get into why it's all like that, but basically what I'm getting here is 18.5 megabytes. And so if you have, say, like 15 megabytes, 25 megabytes, even 50 megabytes or 100, whether you got cable internet or whatever your sources of internet, I'm recommending with QoS to reserve half for a backbone. Now you're asking me, why does that what does that have to do with me? Well, as things progress in technology, as far as video streaming, phones on the internet, Wi-Fi, all sorts of things, they take bandwidth. And that's your speed. And I'll give you an illustration of one of my problems was here. So I'll try to be quick. So years ago, when we first started out, we had 3 different modems, like we had today, but they were all on separate routers. So it was basically just 3 separate networks, and nobody could go from here to there. It was all strictly, and I know I'm going over most of you users' heads that are at home, but you must understand some of this stuff. And I'm trying to explain it simply to you. So each router had its own IP address, and we couldn't share anything. But the thing that we were able to do is, so I had one modem set up for my father. He had 7.1, and then I had the other 2. So each machine I had was on different different routers. So like I had one set up for, I don't remember, like I had live TV show, back in the early days of, getting this stuff going. And I had about 4 different TV shows going at once on my PC. So you could view it live. And then I had one modem set up just for my server to do web hosting. But it got to the point where I wanted to just have everybody on one router. So that's what I did. But my problem happened when I did that. I've had a lot of failures, and I was thinking, well, it's my router, or it's my modems are dying, because the modems were getting older, and you know, those things don't last that long. And I couldn't figure out why the internet kept crashing. Like, I'm not doing that much. And I come to find out that my father had 10 tabs on Firefox, 10 tabs open on Chrome, and I'm like, holy Moses, that might be the problem. So I still didn't know if that was a problem, but I started ripping apart my stuff and coming to find out that his computer was the last thing I plugged back into the network. And sure enough, exactly when I plugged it in, the internet went down. So that's basically where the QoS comes in, is to give you better service so that one person isn't taking everything. And I don't know what he all was doing on there. I mean, I know he had Facebook open and YouTube. He was watching a movie and uploading a video. I mean, he was taking everything that we've got. Now, that's not good for you if you need reliable internet. Now, like I said, if you have 1.5, I don't see how you can have a backbone. Now, if you're asking me what is a backbone, well, take the bone and that's in your back. If you don't have that backbone, you can't hardly do anything. I know that when people have back problems, they can't lift hardly anything. Well, basically, that's what the internet has. If you have enough speed reserved, it makes better internet. Yes, your clients may go slower, like the PC back here, or your phones or what have you, but the internet will stay on. And even though I've got mine QoS down to a T, that means quality of service, I mean, I've given everybody just a little bit of the internet. So I'm giving everybody about 6 megabytes down and 1 meg up. I mean, I'm not even hardly giving them that. I mean, just very small. And everything is working much better. Now, if you're asking me, show me, I cannot show you how to set it up, because every router out there, whether it's Cisco, Netgear, TP-Link, you name whatever router that you've got out there, each router is going to be differently set up than the other one. And talking about routers, so the home user is going to be a lot easier to set up than a business router. Now, most businesses these days have QoS already set up on their network, so their employees aren't taking up every single bandwidth they've got of whatever it is. So what I'm recommending you to do, and sometime I might just make a video, I don't know, I'm not really comfortable with making a video because of the fact that, like I've said, each router is different and each model of that manufacturer is different. That's why I'm not really comfortable with doing a video, is because everybody's going to say, hey, that doesn't work for me. I'm sorry, but I know, for instance, my own was a little bit hard to set up, but there was no, well, I can't say there's none out there. There is some, but it is so far in between, it took me forever to get my QoS set up, quality of service. And I don't remember if I had to go to the manufacturer and say, hey, how do I set up this thing? I might have. I mean, yes, there are some good resources, but there's nobody really explaining to you what does the quality of service have to have for you that's a benefit. Now, many of you folks have voice over internet protocols. I can't explain what the protocol, but that's what VoIP means, voice over internet protocol. Now, on my network, I've got it set up so that all of my computers are using less than my phones. I give my phones almost everything that I've got for up and down. And that's one thing with phones is that they are very picky. If your internet goes slow, oh, your phone service really stinks. Some of you that I'm talking to still have cable phone, and some of you may not. Maybe you are using cell phone, what have you. That's perfectly fine. But I don't really care about using cell phones for the fact that, like I've said before and other times, that I have poor signal here. Many of you may have poor signal. Maybe you have strong signal. But if you move your phone out of your house, then you have, like, to take it with you when you're going shopping or working, you have no phone service in the house. And to me, I don't really want people calling me that I use my home phone for, you know. But anyhow, I know I'm getting off the subject of QoS, but for the fact is that you really need to have good internet for everything. And even if it's slow, I can't really explain to you, I can't really even show you that it works so much better here. And we have a load balancing router. Basically, if you got more than one internet connection like we have, the load balancing router combines all the connections into one, and then I can QoS it off to where I want. I mean, that's quality of service. So whether this guy gets 6 megabytes, the other one gets 1 megabyte, it makes it all perfect. But I would always have leftover bandwidth. So basically, what I'm doing is I just took out 6 for the computers and just left everything else for backbone. Now the phones don't. I mean, like I've said, I've given the phones pretty much everything that I've got, but they don't take that much. And all I want the phones to be is reliable. And without reliability, you've got nothing. And you could be sitting at home and like, well, I don't know how to set that up, or what does it matter to me? I've only got one PC. Well, then maybe this isn't for you then. This is for those that have, internet phones, like smartphones, voice over IP, smart TVs, those streaming boxes, an active lifestyle basically of anybody that's uploading, downloading, and you have more than one user in the house. We don't have that too many users here, but I'm probably the biggest internet user of them all. And, I mean, besides my dad. Now, he is, I don't know. I mean, he uses the internet a lot, and that was partly the issue was for the fact that, I've taken so much, and then he had so much on his computer opened up, it was just guzzling everything. And when I did it, he was like, hey, this is going much slower. And yes, you will be getting stuff that's a little bit slower, but you'll be getting stuff that's constant. So if you set 6 megabytes for your computer, or whatever your speed is, like mine's not as big, I mean I don't have as much, so I had to set my bandwidth limit smaller for my PCs. But he was saying it was going slow. I said, well, Dad, shut some things off. Then you'll go faster. Well, his computer is always getting 6. He can't take any more than 6. And he's not slowing down. The only reason why he's slowing down is for the fact that has so much open on his computer that it's slowing his computer down. Now, and for me, I only have probably about 2 to 3 tabs open at a time. Now, I probably usually have 1, but if I'm doing research, I'll have probably 2 or 3 open. But that's, not too often. I'll have 1 more open for if I'm transferring information to another search. And then I shut the other one down and go from there. But I hope this helps you understand what QoS stands for and what it can do for you. If you need any help, I basically put this video up for my friend that I was trying to help her with her internet issues. Just a side note, uh, she had a router that had no antennas on the outside of it. Now, most of you know that I've talked about routers before. That I do not like the routers that have built-in antennas. Now, the other thing that can cause internet problems, especially with wireless, is how much equipment you've got surrounded by it. Now, she had a DVD player, looked like a modem, and her stereo system, and or whether that's a DVR, I don't know. I couldn't really tell. I didn't get too close to the stuff, but she had her TV mounted up on the wall, which was fine. But she had all this other stuff surrounded with her network equipment, and she had her DVD player on the bottom shelf, which was fine. But to me, having your networking equipment surrounded by your video and audio equipment is not good. It's too much. I know she has a small place to have everything stored in, but you really need to find some place to put the audio equipment away from the networking equipment. I don't know why that is. I can't explain it. But the only thing I can think of is that each device has interference of its own. And sometimes the audio equipment will mess with the networking equipment. And vice versa. The networking equipment will mess with the audio equipment or the video equipment. So it's better off to keep your networking equipment separate from your video equipment. And like I said, you may be working in a tight spot. You can put it probably about 1 or 2 feet away from the other stuff. So, like, you know, this might be a foot to the back of the table here with my other monitors lit up back there. And that'd be perfectly fine. But my rule of thumb usually is just never to have the networking equipment around any audio or visual equipment. And I hope this helps you understand what quality of service is, and if you're having internet problems, you might want to try that. There's other things that can go wrong with the internet, like your service provider, your modem's dying, your router could be having a problem. I do not like Cisco for the fact that I've had so many problems with Cisco. I've dumped more of those in the dump than I've had with anybody else's stuff. And Cisco is a waste of money. I'm not trying to offend anybody that has Cisco, but if you got it, you might want to try something different. I mean, TP-Link, I just looked at it this morning when I'm making this video. TP-Link has a wireless router with external antennas on the top, like I like. It's about $30. It's the cheapest one, and they go up from there. I don't know what the other price is, but I know that the next one up from 30 was 60, and that one had better features than the cheaper one. But if you are just one that just gets on the internet with your phone or your PC, and you're not an average user, busy user, like uploading, downloading, all sorts of stuff, that would work perfectly fine for you. It's $30. I mean, the one I've got was no more than that. And it's not really a router, it's an app. And it's basically a business system, which you can look at TP-Link business systems on Amazon or just even on the internet for that matter. And maybe they've gone up since the last time that I've looked at the apps, but I like TP equipment. I mean, the reason why they're low cost is for the fact that they're not a name brand piece of equipment, but they work good. I've liked them, and I enjoy them, and they've always worked well for me. I mean, I'm not trying to convince you to buy TP-Link. That's not what I'm trying to do here, but I'm just saying, you know, TP-Link I've used, and I've also used Netgear, and the majority of my networking equipment is Netgear. They're a little bit more expensive, but they're reliable. TP-Link's reliable. I have both combinations. I've got TP-Link and Netgear all installed. So somebody asked me one time, why did you buy TP-Link and Netgear, and one other time I had a Cisco before I threw it out? I said, I just bought whatever was on sale. And obviously, the Cisco stuff was a waste of money. Now, if it was way back when I first started in 2004, I would have said Cisco's the best thing on there. But not anymore. So I hope this helps you folks out, and I tried to say it as easily as possible without making your eyes glaze over. But sometimes I don't know how to do it, and even with trying to say it simply enough, especially for you that are just users that don't care about setting up something, I know this is going to be a little bit overboard for you. But I hope you could get something out of it. Do your research, and just keep in mind of what I said, and just put it in your favorites if you have to, and just use this as a reference. I don't know what else how to tell you about QoS but that. And I'll see you next time on Pushing Technology to the Limit.